to Jake Jackets. Gear up to fire the cannon and hit the ice with your host, Jay Ashdown and Jake Gehringer.
Yep.
I gotta work. I'm getting food from mom. I got a lot of stuff, like adulting stuff done today. Like I literally put away and did all of my laundry, so it's not everywhere in the apartment.
Nice.
You can tell I kind of did a little different thing. I put a blanket back here and covered the couch and stuff. So I did a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I got laundry going right now.
So like all of my catch-up stuff has been done, and that's felt really nice and accomplished today.
We've done none of your mustard.
Try the ketchup, motherfucker. That's the Linkin Park reference we'll get to.
I didn't listen yet.
You haven't listened to the new album yet? All right. Well,
no, I didn't know that was going to be a part of this podcast. So.
Well, I guess that'll be the start of the next show then, huh?
Yes, as it should be.
That said, I did want to start with, because we've been gone for a couple of weeks, and that's due to my I went through this whole thing last week where we did the recording on Sunday, and then Veterans Day happened. And that's like the busiest day of my like entire job working where I work. It's like a huge sales day, and we did like free meals for veterans and all that kind of thing. And it was crazy busy. So that whole time I was just super burnt out the whole week that I did not want to make any content. I didn't want to open my computer and edit. I didn't want to do anything because I was just so exhausted. You know?
So he robbed us of content.
I did kind of rob you guys of content. I'm just like Elvis robbed the Bruins and the Penguins. And we're going to get there. But I did want to talk fantasy really, really fast. My unbeaten streak has come to an end.
Good.
Wow. So honest.
I'm a hater first.
My team does have, like I picked 6th out of 16 this year. And it was mostly auto-drafted because I couldn't attend the draft in person.
Yeah, you explained this in the episode that didn't air.
Yeah. So I ended up with guys like Alex Ovechkin and Connor Hellebuck and Braden Point, and like they've just been going off.
Ovi's been going off. It'd be a shame if he got hurt.
Boy. But I do have honorable mentions of guys like that I've picked up over the little while. I got Thatcher Demko in my draft, but with him being on IR, I picked up Shelovs and Johnny Quick. And my last big week, I got shutouts from both Helly and Quickie. Yeah. So that got me a ton of points. I got guys like Braden Point, like I said, Tyler Toffoli, Quentin Byfield, Tanev, Matheson has been putting up some points for me. Paterka's been doing all right. Marco Rossi. And then knowing that my team this year is called Johnny Jacket Forever, I did want some Blue Jackets in there. So I picked up Fantilli more recently, and I drafted Voronkov. Yeah. 5-1. Tied for the best record in the league right now.
Nice.
Doing all right. So fantasy's been fun this year. Especially because I'm doing a lot better than I did last year when I drafted last. Which is weird, because drafted last, you get back-to-back picks, right?
Yeah, but you're not getting the top guys,
right? And yet, like,
you're not grabbing a McDavid or a
right
or a McKinnon or anyone like that.
And Austin,
yeah,
any of those huge names. But at the same time, like, I think it's weird looking at drafting last like that, where you can be strategic in who you're getting. Because you get back-to-back picks?
I think every draft position is strategic.
Because you don't play anymore.
Yeah. I do football, though.
Fair enough. I could not, for the life of me, understand the fantasy football
For the life, I can't understand fantasy hockey. And fantasy hockey is just too much for me to keep up with.
Well, at least with fantasy hockey teams, you only have like, I don't know, up to 18-ish spots.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you're not drafting as many players as you would on a fantasy football team.
No, that's about. I actually think that might be more.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about the same. I mean, here, let me pull up my fantasy football team just to compare.
Because you get on a fantasy hockey team, you get 9 forwards, 5 defensemen, a utility slot, up to 3 goalies, and then like 5 bench players.
20 on my team.
Okay, so it is practically the same number.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's just me never playing fantasy football, where I thought you had to draft an entire fucking 53-man roster.
No, because it's like quarterback, you'll do 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, and then you have a couple flex spots, and then it's just an entire defense. So a whole defensive unit you're drafting. So you're taking the Bills defense, or nobody's taking the Bengals defense.
Well, no.
Yeah.
That's a shame because we do have like 2 guys that are doing well and nobody else.
Yeah.
Shout out Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the Steelers defense, so that was
Well, there you go. You got a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's what I want to do with Donkey Defenders today. Before I get into the ad read, because we missed time, I want to do 2 picks per person. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, we got 3 games, or we got 2 games to choose from.
Well,
picking one from Montreal.
I don't know if we're going to pick, yeah. But hey, the 24-25 NHL season has that new car smell. We're fresh off the lot. We've been driving them around for a while, and people are noticing. And the action's heating up with our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, which is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. All you got to do is bet something as simple as a team to win. You pick an anytime goal scorer. You can pick, over-under on like shot totals. There's a lot of different things that you can pick that are very simple,
Yeah.
And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up, because listen up, because this is before the big call, and words are hard.
Yes.
If you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So, all you got to do, still with us? Yes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Whose crown is it?
I think it's yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/ice. Copyright NHL 2024, all rights reserved. Wow, words are hard.
They are.
But we did it. Do you want to go like back and forth?
I would love that. Yes.
Let's
do it snake draft style.
Let's do a snake draft style. Let's flip a coin for the first overall pick then.
Okay. Flip a coin. Heads or tails?
Heads.
It is tails. I'm going to make you go first.
Okay. Well, I think this guy, we've talked about a lot of guys recently over text messages that have just been going off.
Mm-hmm.
And because, like, I know we're only going to talk about 2 wins, which are the only 2 wins of this month, but a lot of guys have still been playing very well,
Yeah.
you know? And one guy that we haven't gotten the chance to talk about yet that has played very well, especially in these 2 wins, Elvis Merzlikins.
Yeah. He's so if you look at the history of goaltending in the NHL and how it's progressed, save percentage year by year, as we've talked about, is going down. Right
If you
now,
just look at the past 10 years, dude.
yeah, right now, the league average in the National Hockey League is a 901 save percentage.
Yes, and back in, what was it, the Big Head Hockey said it was like back in 14-15, it was a 915.
I believe so, yeah.
It was like,
Year-
whoa.
Last year was a 903. So
Year
the
before
lowest
was a 904. So the trend continues.
trend continues, and right now Elvis is sitting at a 905. So Elvis, in comparison to the rest of the league, is giving you league average goaltending, and league average goaltending should give you a chance to win most nights. And it gave us a chance in the Pittsburgh game, and we won. And it gave us a chance in the Boston game, and we won. So, if you're looking at Elvis and his recent performances, not just this one, but he had a pretty decent game in San Jose. They didn't get the win, but he stopped 25-27.
Mm-hmm.
He had the shutout against the Islanders.
Excuse me.
You look at the games that they lost, not great against LA, fine, I guess, against Seattle. And then the Winnipeg game, they just got their asses kicked.
That's just getting shelled because it's Winnipeg and they're a wagon.
Yeah, he faced 44 shots. So, and then the Edmonton game, he only allowed 1 goal on 32. So he's had a good start to the season. It's not a great start, but for him, it's kind of getting yourself a little bit back on track.
He's getting right. He's
getting right.
He's needed this. And
Yeah.
I wanted to shout him out for a couple of reasons. One being obviously the performance. But he's also, like the 5th or 6th, maybe 7th in recent memory to reach 200 appearances with the Blue Jackets.
I didn't see the stat, but I believe it. I mean, how many guys have done it? Obviously, Bobrovsky did it.
Corpusalo,
Steve Mason.
Steve Mason. I don't know if Tugnut did it. I don't think Tugnut did it.
Pascal Leclerc, maybe?
Leclerc probably did.
Yeah.
Probably, but knowing how injured he was in his day.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
Elvis, 200 games with one franchise is still a really steady, good number to have.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to celebrate. And the fact that Elvis has played fairly well made that even better.
He's the 5th.
He's the 5th? Okay.
There was 125. So Bobrovsky, Mark Denis, Steve Mason, Corpusalo, Elvis Merzlikins.
Denis, huh?
Yeah.
Huh, that's that's throwing it way back.
Yes.
But yes, Elvis deserves some flowers. Because obviously, all goalies have hiccups, and we saw a lot of hiccups with him on Friday night. Woo!
Yep.
But he still stood really tall, and he played really, really well in the 6-2 and 5-1 wins that we recently had.
Yeah, and the team played well in front of him. They weren't perfect, but he was there when they needed him, and they were there when he needed them. So that's a very, very positive thing for the Blue Jackets. And I did want to bring up the game against Pittsburgh that we saw was a win. Obviously, they're 5-3 at home.
That's pretty. I'll take it.
I'll take it. And I'm not saying that this is the reason why, but I have been to Nationwide twice this season.
Mm-hmm.
Game against Pittsburgh. And I'm just throwing it out there. I think the Sabrina Carpenter concert gave them some.
A little bit of mojo.
Yes, that's what I'm running with. So really, they're 6-3 at home this year.
You could say she gave him a little espresso to
They
give
needed
him a
a
little
shot
boost.
of espresso in their ass.
And the fans were all going, please, 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 come on.
Please, 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 more goals.
Well, we got plenty of them. Your first donkey. You're on the clock, bub.
Yeah, this one's going to be an easy one. Welcome to the team, just out of nowhere. Dante Fabro has
Holy shit, this
not,
kid.
not only like it's going to go down as one of the best waiver claims that the Blue Jackets have ever made in franchise history. The guy's only 26 years old. It's not that he was bad in Nashville. It's not like they said, don't want you anymore, get rid of you.
No, he just wasn't getting minutes.
He wasn't really getting minutes, and it was a difficult cap situation because of what they did this offseason, signing Brady Shea and Stamkos and Jonathan Marchessault. So they're not off to a good start. So, they played 6 games with the Predators this year. No goals, no assists, was a -3. And in 4 games with the Blue Jackets, he has a goal, 2 assists, and is a +3.
That first goal as a Blue Jacket, whoo!
Yeah, he just looks. You talk about confidence in a player, because he's not necessarily young. He is 26, so he's had time in the National Hockey League. He's got experience. I mean, he has played so far in his career he's played 319 games in his career.
What
So this
this
isn't a kid, but to be able to pick this dude up off of waivers and immediately be like, yeah, you're playing first pair with Zach Werenski, and it's working. They are good together. It's a match.
It's crazy because, like, I know in the Boston game, Dean shuffled things a little bit.
Yes.
Where he put Sivo with Z, and then he put Fabro with Ivan, right?
Yes. No. Did they change it mid-game?
I think they might have changed it mid-game, but I do remember
because they started with Severson with Provorov. I know
right.
that.
I just remember seeing something where Fabro was with Provi at times.
Okay. So that's interesting. What I like about it, though, and this is getting, I wanted to bring up Severson. Severson was at his best in the Devils, obviously, when he wasn't playing first pair minutes, as we've talked about.
Right.
But he's at his absolute best when he was playing, bumping back up and down between second and third pair when they had Dougie Hamilton on the first pair, and it was kind of split between him and John Marino.
Right.
On the second and third pair. Now, he spent more time in the third pair than he did in the second pair. But sheltering his minutes a little bit brings out the best in him, because you're mitigating some of the mistakes that he's prone to, but you're still getting a lot of what he provides. Yes. And I think the Dante Fabro acquisition will help Damon Severson.
Yes.
So it's two areas where you're winning here. You're getting Dante Fabro, who's clearly working with Zach Werenski well, and 2, that helps Damon Severson. So that helps out the defensive core a lot.
That just helps the depth stay more defined into what they can do.
Yeah. Well, think about what this does down the line for whenever Eric Branson comes back. Right. It does a lot of good. So I'm very.
It does a lot of good for a good Branson.
It's a lot of good for everybody. I'm very pleased with it. I really am. And
Dante's a fun one. I've loved his game when he was in Nashville. Obviously he never got like the ice time that I think he deserved.
I gotta say, the Blue Jackets are making this a little difficult in the best way possible. And the reason I want to say this is because look at the box score. They scored 6 goals. They won 6-2. Only 3 players had multiple points. Mana had 2 assists. goal assist for Werenski, goal assist for Voronkov, and then it was goal for Severson, assist LeBanc, assist Provorov, assist Fabro, goal Olivier, goal Aston Reese, assist Marchenko, assist Christensen, Chinikov, Danforth, Fantilli, and then the empty netter from Cole Sillinger. And then you look at the Boston game, and in the Boston game, it's only one player had multiple points. It was Monahan with 2 assists again, JVR with a goal, an assist for Werenski and Fabro, goal for Olivier, goal for Voronkov, goal for Chinikov, goal for Danforth, assist for Sillinger, assist for Fantilli. So it's like when this team is winning games and they're scoring a lot of goals, and that's how their wins have been. When they have won games this year, it's because they're scoring a lot of goals. Some of the games they with defense and have prevented the puck going in, but more often than not, when they're winning games, it's because they're scoring a lot. But when they're scoring a lot, it's not, oh, this guy had 2 goals and 2 assists, or this guy had 3 points that night. It's a lot of 2 points here, 2 points here, one.
Everybody's contributing.
Everybody's getting in on the action, and that's one of the things that I'm really enjoying about this team so far.
We'll talk about that a little bit later because I do have a statistic from the Pittsburgh game that I want to bring up.
Yes, and I'm excited for that. But because of the sheer production in the games, the only guy to score multiple points in both the Boston win and in the Pittsburgh win is Sean Monahan.
Was Sean
noticeable in all 3 games, even the loss to Montreal?
Is he going to be your second one then?
He's going to be my second one. He deserves it. Sean Monahan, 15 points in 18 games this season for the Blue Jackets, +3.
I feel like he's going to be our version of what Johnny was last year, where we were just kind of giving it to him.
Yeah, well, here's the difference, though. Johnny was getting it these last couple of years more often than not because he was playing well and nobody else was.
Right.
This is a case of Monahan's playing really well. Other players are actually playing well, but he's still, shoulders above him. So
he's got so much at stake just this year. Like, I know he's signed for a long term here, but specifically going through everything that we've gone through, him in particular has so much motivation this year to just go the fuck off.
Yeah.
And he's doing it.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to bring up is real quick before you get to your pick, because I mentioned this the other day. It is amazing to me. We talked so much about that top line with Sean Monahan when he was playing with Kirill Marchenko and Yegor Chinikov, and how awesome it was. They called him Monahanov.
It's so good.
Which is funny. And because, oh my gosh, this guy's playing amazing with the Russians. And then what happens the other day when we go to see them? It's not him on a line with Marchenko and Chinikov. It's him on a line with Marchenko and Dima.
And Voronkov
has now entered into the equation. And it's like you have three Russians here. And at any point in time, doesn't matter which ones you want to play. You can play 2 of them with Sean Monahan, and it will work.
I mean, he is the honorary Russian at this point. Like,
it's crazy.
He's the honorary 4th Russian, and it's like it's all gelling.
Those 3 guys played on a line last year and were great as the Russian line, and it's like they added a 4th.
I love it. I love it.
They added a 4th, but the 4th is the best of all of them.
And he's not even a Russian.
Yes. It's amazing. Like, I know, like, we went out of our way to sign him because A, we wanted a center, and B, because he is a good player, but more than anything, he had such a great link up with Johnny Gaudreau, and
play with Johnny.
It's like his relationship and chemistry with Johnny has risen, and it's just gone into the bodies of the Russians.
Well, what did we say early on this year when we gave him one of our first donkey defenders?
We said a lot of things. I don't know.
The spirit of Johnny is in Sean this year.
Yeah, and it was in KJ too before he went down, and dude, we were gonna get KJ back at some point. So
we could get KJ back as soon as Thursday.
Yeah. So this team, man, I'm enjoying watching them play. and we're only going to get more help on the way.
So you're going Dante and Sean,
Dante
which
and
are
Sh-
great picks.
I agree. That's why I made them.
I'm going with Elvis, and then I want to make a quick shout to Dima.
Yes.
He's not my pick, but quick shout to Dima
I
because
think I
ever
know who
since
you're
this dude's come back, he's been a monster.
Yeah, he has. He's picked up right where he's left off. It's not like he's had to overcome maybe the rust of being injured. No,
He
he's just
had one game on the fourth line, and everything else has been top 6 minutes, and he's hasn't lost a step.
hasn't lost a step. It's just plug and play with that guy. I think I know who you're gonna pick though.
I'm picking the guy who scored a career high, and it's
Ah,
only
it's
November. It's only before
I was
Thanksgiving.
thinking about it, but I figured that you would anyway. So
It's
I went.
Otto fucking Matic with Matthew Olivier this year, dude.
And you know what? A couple of these goals are shorthanded.
He's
But think
scoring
about
shorthanded goals. He's scoring even strength goals. He's going at guys. He's
yeah,
doing Matthew Olivier things. And he's honestly, to be truthful with you, he's gotten a lot bigger in the locker room.
yeah, he's a leader. So like think about it for a second. We ended up kicking the hell out of the Penguins, and I can't wait to talk about that. But there was a point in that game where we had blown a 2-0 lead.
Right.
The Penguins had a chance to take the lead when Elvis tried to go behind the net, and
Oh, that was scary.
cleared it out in front, and we were just able to clear. And what happened moments later? 2-1
Matthew.
the other way. Matthew Olivier picks his spot, scores,
That
and
was such a
the
good pick.
Penguins didn't have a sniff after that goal.
I love how, like, obviously, like, it's so funny to me when you have a guy that's not known as a goal scorer
That just randomly pops off with goals.
that just turns into a goal suck out of nowhere
Mm,
for at least a year.
yeah,
And Matthews found his touch.
yeah.
Obviously, like, you know,
You know what I like in it too.
6 goals for a career high is,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but
I'm not gonna make a comparison because this guy literally potted 30 goals. But do you know what it like when you talk about like the best example of that? And Mel will love this answer is when David Clarkson scored 30 goals for the Devils, and
Oh,
then he
yeah.
had that massive deal with the Leafs. Now, Olivier's not gonna score 30. He's not gonna
No,
score.
no.
He might not even get to 20, but he's off to a really good start. And it's not just the fact that he's scoring, it's the fact that he's got a couple shorthanded goals.
There's a good chance that this dude, because you need supplementary scoring,
Yes.
and he is the primary driver of the supplementary scoring so far this year.
Yeah, it was just like you bring up they signed JVR. He hit a goal the other night, but also a guy you love, Zach Astorius has already got a few goals this season.
Czar's got a few goals. LeBanc is putting up points.
So like the depth has they've been holding up their end of the bargain.
My dad's favorite guy, Cole scored in both wins.
Cole looks good.
Cole looks good.
He's also playing.
Right. But the thing that I love about Matthew is, 6 goals is what it is. He is a shoe-in because it's so early on in the season for a good 10 to 15.
Yeah, he's gonna get double unless he gets hurt or something like that happens. He's gonna
So
get
far, he's been really healthy. Like, that's what I like about the majority of the construction of this team. There's so much more health going on.
Yeah, I have no concerns about his like long-term health or his ability to stay up. It's more so just like, hey, you never know, a freak accident happens. Look at Oakland the other night, random play where you just collide with someone on accident out of nowhere instead of
that play with Sean was like, that was really scary.
So yeah, you never know. So that's why I always say, like, barring injury, barring something freaky happening, he will get double digits goals this year. And like I think Mark Shakes said it the other day. Talk about a bargain. I mean, the guy is making only a little over $1 million a year, and we only traded a 4th-round pick for him. He's in his 3rd or 4th season with the club.
3rd, because he's played in 6 total.
So this is his third season in Columbus. And yeah, if 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points in 66 games, and then 5 goals, 7 assists for 12 points in 54 games. So a very similar pace between those two seasons. And this season, he's already got 6 goals. He's got a couple of assists.
Right.
He's shooting 31.6%.
That's going to come down.
Oh god, yeah, it's absolutely going to come down. But think about it. I mean, he shot 6.7% his first year, 9.1% his second year. If he shoots 11% this season, 11%, I think is fair. It's going to come crashing down. If he shoots 11% this season and plays, let's say, 70 of the 82 games, reasonably, that's 13, 14, maybe 15 goals. Like, that's, and you don't know how many assists he's going to rack up along the way. You know, if he doesn't grab another assist, 13 goals would already tie him his career high in points with 13 goals and 2 assists. You're going to assume he's going to rack up more than 0 assists the rest of the season.
Right.
So he's already scored a career high goals. He's going to get a career high in points. It's a good player to have in the bottom 6.
Just last night, he had a goal and a fight. He was so close to a Gordy, and he got the donkey last night in Boston.
Yeah.
He's already gotten what, like 3 donkeys?
Yeah.
Like,
he's deserved it.
So this is obviously, I'm reading this from Jeff. Dean Evison. I've been impressed by him all year, not only his physicality, obviously, but his ability to lead by example. He's probably one of the more vocal guys. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. He's been around the block. You need leaders. This team is a young team. They need leaders.
And the fact that he's 27, like, obviously, by player standards, that's no spring chicken, but that's still young enough.
Young in terms of games played, right? I mean, if you look at his career, he has played a total of 100. He hasn't even played 200 games. He's at 186 games. So, this is a guy who was undrafted. So you think about that journey. 27 years old, undrafted, has battled to get to this point, hasn't even got 200 games under his belt, but you're going through so many experiences to get to this point. I think leadership becomes a bit of a natural ability because you've been on so many different teams, so many different circumstances, battling your ass off to get here. You might not have the talent that a Fantilli has or Close has or whatever, but they respect the shit out of guys who have to work their ass off like that to get to that point.
The hard work is the key thing, right?
And it resembles in his game. Because even on nights that he's not scoring goals, you still notice him. He's still an impact player.
He's hitting guys. He's digging along the boards. He's finding open space. He's clearing space for guys.
What are the 2 moments you remember of the Montreal game?
I didn't watch it. I was so tired from the Pittsburgh game. I didn't watch it. The
moments you'll remember are the Dante Fabro goal and the Matthew Olivier fight.
Right. And I mean, part of that is just because it's Arbor Jack Eye going at him again, but
don't back down from a fight, man. That's awesome. Nope. Arbor Jack Eye, that guy, it's a big dude.
Oh yeah.
And he don't back down.
So Friday.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Now, okay, so just to make sure we got our picks right, you've got Dante and Sean. And I've got Elvis and Matthew.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That was the most magical fucking night I've had at a game in a long time.
Yeah, same here. I have not seen a win in a while. So it was good, especially when it comes against the Penguins. I know the Penguins aren't having a great season, but that's the first time we've beaten them in regulation since 2019.
Now, okay.
Yet.
That makes it worse because that's the first time in regulation in any barn since 2019. Now, Can we please break the 2015?
Yeah,
And
let's
do
get
it on the road.
there. That would be nice.
Now, okay. This is a little bit bleeding into last night. But this is a tweet from Mark. They win in Boston in regulation. So we haven't beaten them at TD Garden in regulation since 2016.
Oh my God.
And we beat the fucking brakes off of them.
And remember, guys, we played a playoff series against them.
No, Boston.
Yes, Boston. We played a playoff
Oh, that's
series.
right. The second round series.
So that's like, that's an extra 3 games against Boston that we had. We only won one of those games in Boston, and that was the overtime winner from Matt Duchene. So yeah, there you go.
So I do want to, because obviously we're going to talk about it at the beginning of the next show, but that Friday was also when From Zero came out. So that was a hell of a soundtrack for the ride to and from.
How was the ride for you?
It was fine. We went to a B-dubs first and pregame, got dinner. The ride 2 was fine because we were able to just kind of get to the district no problem, but then getting around to where we usually park on Vine Street was a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
Because we were a little bit stuck for like, I don't know, 5 minutes.
Okay.
But then getting out, a light didn't work for like a solid 10 fucking minutes and it didn't change.
No, nice.
So we were like, what are we doing? Why are we stuck here? And the light just wouldn't go.
God, that's so frustrating.
What about you? How was the travel?
So, it's funny enough. As I said to you the other day, I wake up in the morning and I'm at work, and my dad and I are talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I fucked up my foot."
Mark.
He just, I don't know, stubbed his foot into the metal part of his bed, and he just couldn't.
Mark. Oh.
So he was like, "Yeah," he's like, "I don't know if I want to go to the game." He's like, "Do you want to trade out?" And I was like, "No, I'm not trading out of this game. I just see Jake," and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right."
The biggest reason.
I am literally texting a few people, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go to this game? I know it's last minute." And then it occurs to me, I have a cousin who lives in Columbus.
Oh.
And I texted, I didn't realize how close she lived. She lived less than 2 miles from the arena.
Wow.
So, yeah, super convenient. It was only her second ever Blue Jackets game. So, she hasn't had a chance to really follow the team.
Mm-hmm.
But she had time of her life. I had a great time with her, and the drive's only 2 hours, so it's not bad. I've done the
Right.
drive.
It's only a couple it's like less than an hour for me.
Yeah, I am used to either 3.5 hour drives to Buffalo or 6.5 hour drives to New Jersey.
Right.
So driving 2 hours to Columbus, watching
Is nothing.
and then driving 2 hours back is nothing. It's not nothing I've ever dealt with before. So, and I like it because it's a straight shot, so it's almost calming. Like you get on the highway, you put your cruise control on,
And you just go.
and you zoom. So that was no issue, but the game was just fantastic. Great start, great first period.
We both had really solid seats because you were up in like the lower half of 201.
Yes, which is the side of the upper deck that I've never sat at before because it's always been above the cannon
Mm-hmm.
with our season tickets. So I've never sat on that side. All the games I've been to in Columbus, never been in that area before.
And then Dad got Megan and I our seats that he usually likes to get us, which are in 118, like the double letter seats in 118,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a great view because it's low enough where you can see everybody,
Yes.
but it's also high enough, or it's high enough where you can see all of the action going on, but it's low enough where you can tell where everybody is. You can pick players out and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about hockey and basketball when you're talking about upper decks is like you can you can tell what's going on. You can tell who is who and whatnot. Whereas, like, if you're at a football game and you're in the upper deck, you're like, I have absolutely no idea who just caught that pass.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a glorified watching
I don't
at your
know who
home
that
because you got to
was.
watch it
For
on the
sure.
jumbotron for the majority of the time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So I really enjoyed it, and I had such a good view of just about everything that happened because it's decently close to center ice where I was.
We were
So
both in the shoot once section,
yeah,
which is fine, but
yeah, because where I was on the side, I had a good view of the shoot twice as well as obviously the shoot once. But the first goal, Christensen just throws it on net.
just
Second
threw it
race.
in there. And it was just like, it's like, welcome back, Tristan.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about Tristan in a second. Tristan Jarry, they brought him back up, and
I did want to mention I took a
immediate
lot of,
reaction was, "Oh, they brought Tristan Jarry back up. That means he's going to have a good game
he's
against
going
us."
to,
And super did not have a good game against us. Not that he got much help. So 1-0 Blue Jackets on that, and then the second goal was power play from Werenski, right?
let me actually pull it up. I'm surprised I didn't do that
It
earlier.
was because it was that awful penalty that I was talking about. I can't even remember who took the penalty. I think it was oh my god, Drew O'Connor. I
Oh,
think
that's right. It was Drew.
where he was like 200 feet from his net, and he has no shot at getting the puck. And in the offensive zone, nobody's even with him, and he just takes a whack, takes a dumb penalty. The Blue Jackets score within 5 seconds.
You got it wrong. It wasn't Jake.
I would have. Who was it?
It was Czar. The
No,
first goal.
I said it was Christensen. He threw it on net, and then Czar tipped it.
You just said Christensen just threw it in there.
I said he threw it on net.
No,
I didn't say he scored it. I said
I didn't hear Czar at all.
That's because you're not listening.
But Czar from Jake and LeBanc is a fun stat line, obviously.
And then the second goal, they take a dumb penalty. Blue Jackets score immediately. Good movement off the
What
rip.
a shot from Zach too, from just beyond the blue line.
It was a great shot, but Tristan Jarry was not screened on that shot.
No,
that's a save he has to make.
That's you got to have that.
Yeah, good shot, but dude, get your glove up.
And then we held Sid to only 1 point with an assist on an Anthony Beauvillier goal.
The weirdest goal I've seen in a long time.
Can I just say that, comparatively speaking, I don't think I've ever seen a power play that's that still than Pittsburgh's was.
For all the talent they have. All of it.
How many passing sequences did we see on those power plays where they just passed it maybe 5 to 7 times before they even decided maybe I should shoot this?
There was that one sequence with Malkin and Crosby where Malkin was like
just going back and forth.
And Crosby, he wasn't like on the goal line. He was like somewhere between the goal line and the face-off dot.
Yeah.
And like Crosby's passing it to Malkin. He's like, dude, like you could just shoot it there. And he keeps passing. It's like, yeah, Crosby can score from that angle. He can score.
You take it.
Dude, you're getting Malkin. Like it was the weirdest sequence where people they were passing it to each other, and the pass were crisp, but they weren't on the same page because neither one of them was taking the shot.
Neither one of them wanted to take.
Like there was just frustration in that.
I felt like neither of them wanted to take the shot, even though Sid was sitting at 598 career goals at this point.
I thought for sure he was going to score 2 goals in that game and reach 600.
Me too.
Shit. But it didn't happen against us. But yeah, so the Penguins end up tying the game. They scored on the power play. It was Michael Bunting, right?
Bunts from Beauvillier and O'Connor.
Weird play in front, kind of a soft goal from Elvis, but it was a bit of a broken play too. Then they almost take the lead with that freaky bounce. And then Olivier, as we talked about, picked his spot. And then, dude, that third period by the Blue Jackets.
They just put the
Might
foot
be.
on the gas and they
Might
never let go.
might legitimately be one of the best periods I think I've seen this
Both
team.
third periods against these black and gold teams were two of the best third periods I think we've ever seen.
Which think about how funny that is for a second. What was the issue last year?
I don't know.
They were the worst third period team in the National Hockey League last year. Worse than Chicago, worse than San Jose,
Worse than Anaheim.
worse than all of them. And this team, so far this season, has had several games where they have picked up the slack and just taken it to the other team in the third period. It hasn't always resulted in them holding on for wins or coming back to get wins, but they have always brought it in the third period this season.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the improvements they've made this season, that might be number one for me.
The two goals that brought the gap further along, I love that they were from the same like unit of guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was Dmitry from Kirill Marchenko and Sean.
And it was just the perfect Dima goal.
What a shot and what a sequence.
Jamming in front. Just jamming in front, putting it in.
Just chaos in the crease and
in his office.
In his office. And then Damon from Sean and Dima.
And that was a sequence where they could have had a few goals there, had a couple opportunities, weren't finishing, and then Severson comes in, picks up the loose change, fires it home. And like I said, since they picked up Dante Fabro, I think Severson's had a few really, really good games. He was good against.
He's got 4 goals already. Or that was his 4th
already. He's still in the plus department, which I know plus minus is a flawed stat, but I think he's having a solid season so far. He's still getting the roller coaster, but I think it's been a little bit more up than it's been down.
One thing that you mentioned when we were texting during the game, and this is funny because actual penguins are flightless birds.
Yeah, they killed him aerially.
All they had to do was just fling a pass into the air.
That was part of like the one of the changes that I thought they made in the third period. They had more aerial passes in the third period than they had in any in the first or second, and you could just tell it was killing the Penguins.
There was a puck.
They could not locate pucks. They were slow to pucks. They were taking penalties. It was just a dreadful third period from the Penguins.
Did you notice? I think it was that third period. There was like an errant puck off a stick that flew towards us, and somebody caught it.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it's always great when a puck goes in and someone grabs it. Even cooler than a baseball.
I did. I got a lot of good pictures. I got one from the front entrance where they have the little Johnny note where Sean is on the banner.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I had to do that one.
Yeah.
I got obviously the shot from the seat. I got a shot of Pudia and Jake during warm up. I got a couple Penguins warm up pictures. Shout out Ellie. Shout out our bestie Ellie Schultz for taking these pictures for us.
It was nice to see her. I completely forgot to text her. So it was nice to just look around and be like, "Oh, there she is!" Like,
I know.
Hi.
I felt so bad for this poor dude in between us in the background. He's just kind of there.
I don't feel bad for him.
It was just funny looking at it. Like,
he should be honored.
It's very funny looking at it where it's just like this dude is in the back in between where we are, just kind of like looking around.
Have you ever thought about how many pictures you're in that you don't know about?
How many candids like that you're just in the background for? Yeah, I never really think about that.
Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I'm probably in a lot of photos.
I probably look really dumb.
That's the best. A dumb look on your face and someone could be like, oh, look at that dummy.
Look at this guy. And then obviously like just a few sections over from where I am, that's where they brought the Johnny Memorial inside.
Oh, nice.
And it made me want to cry.
Gotta bet.
Just getting a good solid picture of that, and it made me want to cry looking at it. But obviously, we get the dub, and my dad's girlfriend is 2-0 now because we took her to the Rangers game last year.
Nice.
So Megan's 2-0. This was 2 wins in a row in attendance for me, which was nice because a year to the day of the game we went to, we played Pittsburgh again, and that was the game where Sid had a hat trick and they kicked our ass, and Jake Bean blocked the big shot from Carlson.
Yes.
We're in November now, and that means, yes, Thanksgiving comes first, you hooligans, but at the same time, holiday shopping season is here with Black Friday deals and Cyber Monday deals already being posted.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing about these kinds of deals is, they're unique to the season, right? Getting huge discounts on things when you normally wouldn't.
Right.
Hopefully that also, maybe we'll see another Stanley Cup craze.
Oh, God.
Insane.
And not the hockey one either.
I was going to say, I wonder what this year's going to be, right? Except with our friends at Raycon, because with Raycon, you get an amazing deal on premium audio every single day, not just on these special days of the year. But that doesn't mean that at the same time, they're not having any sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Far from it, in fact. They're actually doubling down, and you can get up to 30% off site-wide. So one thing that you'll appreciate every day is the everyday earbuds. But right?
Yes.
If you haven't checked out their latest model, it includes plenty of new features that make them even more of a must-have for anybody that loves, music, audiobooks, podcasts. Obviously, if you're listening to this, hopefully you like podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm. Would be silly if you didn't.
Kind of would. They have a 32-hour battery life every charge, and they now have a multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once.
Interesting. Okay.
That's actually
I
really
like
cool.
that because like sometimes it's a pain when you have like headphones that are supposed to connect and then you have to go back and forth between your laptop and your phone.
Yeah, like I get that with one of my speakers.
Yeah.
Where it like pairs them up at the same time, and I'm like, okay, is this gonna play this or? But yeah, the multi-point is nice because you'll be able to like pick and choose from whether source you want. And then they also have active noise cancellation, which is great for like, I know you go flying a lot when you're going out to New Jersey and Minnesota and these other places to see your friends and your girlfriend.
Orlando.
It's great for flights. It's great for someone like me who works in like the back of a restaurant, and like especially if I'm just doing the dishes part, I can plug it in and just tune out from the world for a while, right?
Yeah. Makes time go faster, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It's a feature that's a must-have for, like I said, the long flights and whatever else. But those can typically be pretty difficult to find, that are an affordable price until now, because that's another thing. Raycon's quality rivals some of the bigger names in the premium industry, but they also start at just half the price as the other guys. So we're already an incredible deal even before you factor in the holiday sale for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Again, up to 30% off the entire website. So I love these because, like, obviously there's the celebrity endorsements. Apparently, Snoop Dogg uses these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're extremely comfortable with the custom gel tips that we usually talk about when we have Raycon around. They're nice and snug
Yeah.
when they fit in your ear. So they're available as well in a lot of colors other than just your typical like black and white. So that's really nice. I kind of want green ones because
Yeah.
green's my favorite color, right?
Yeah.
And I always like the look of the blue ones too. Those are like
The blue ones look really nice.
the nice metallic blue that they have.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
They're really, really cool. And it's weird because you normally just see headphones in those colors, right? Like, look at mine. I got the little,
Mhm.
like, the blue setup going on, right? But it's nice to see that with earbuds too, because it's like something
Yeah.
that, you can just kind of notice about a person and be like, ooh.
Yeah. It's nice and small, but like when you look at it, you're like, oh, looks nice.
Now's the perfect time to scoop them up if you haven't already. And don't worry, if you're not as impressed as we are, there's a 30-day happiness guarantee. So you really can't lose. It's time to save big for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, y'all. Go to buyraycon.com/THPN today and get up to 30% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get up to 30% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/THPN.
Hockey's back, baby.
We're here. It's about
Thank,
time.
thank God. I am so happy to be back. You going to any games this year?
I actually just recently got tickets for November 15th against Pittsburgh. Yeah, a little Metro
Oh,
rivalry.
love it. Well, I hope you got those tickets through Game Time.
I don't know. I would hope so.
With hockey being back, the excitement of watching Puck live is at an all-time high, especially after what a great season last season was with Florida
Oh,
winning the cup. I mean, God, the finals were amazing. It's never been a better time to be a hockey fan. Am I right?
no. I think we're in for an even better story this year.
Me too.
You ever like notice what you ever just think about when you're living life,
Mhm.
the atmosphere in the arena
Yeah.
and just like feel it while you're like just living your life?
Hmm.
Just the chill of going into your seat and you can feel the chill of the ice while you're sitting down, cracking your beer
Literally,
open and
it's the chill of the ice more than anything. Yeah.
um just the, you know, hearing everybody chatter before everybody comes out. The experience of when everybody like it's so quiet. It's a lot quieter to watch a game live when they're just kind of skating around.
It is.
And
But
then all of a sudden you get a big boom off
yes,
a hit off the boards.
hit off the boards, the goal, and the cannon shooting off, or you know, you get the sounds of everything though. Doesn't matter if it's hockey, basketball, or Sabrina Carpenter. Concerts. Uh, Game Time is an excellent app to grab tickets to just about any event that you might be looking forward to this year. You're looking forward to that Penguins game in November. I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to that Penguins game in November.
Hopefully we can make that happen.
Yes. Game Time picks filters so it can, filter out all the fluff so you can get incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. Makes things a lot easier so you can get the deal that is right for you.
I
Uh,
I always liked what you're able to do is they give you selections of like this is worth this much and then you can click on that section in that seat and they have a little panorama view so you can get a little bit more view of just what's in front of you.
yeah.
You can actually look around a little bit. That's a really nice feature that I like.
Yeah, I love it. The great thing about the app is that it makes things so convenient to look through it. I mean, you get seat views, so you can get a panoramic view from your seat on the app before you buy. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference.
They kind of have
Uh,
like an insurance policy too. Like
yeah, that's awesome. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the industry. Curation makes it easier to save more on whether it be sports or concerts. Comedy is a great thing.
I haven't been to a comedy show in a long time.
I saw Jim Gaffigan last year, and he was brilliant.
It's already been like 3 years since I saw Jeff Dunham.
But that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Download the Game Time app, create an account, and if you use the code THPN, you get $20 off your first purchase.
$20.
$20. It's $20 for free. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What is it? It's Game Time. That's gametime.co. Gametime.co.
What time is it?
It's game time.
But all in all, obviously, it was phenomenal to have the fucking reunion because that was a reunion almost a decade in the making.
Yeah.
I love the way you told me the story of how it happened and how you basically just begged your dad to pick that game.
Oh yes, because like we were at the Cavs game and he was like, "Oh, I'm thinking about doing a 6-game package for the Blue Jackets," and I was like, "Pick the Penguins game. Pick the Penguins game." And he did. Like I said, like and this isn't a shot at the Blue Jackets or the Penguins because the Penguins are off to a bad start, but I've been to so many Blue Jackets Penguins games over the years.
Right.
That is the most empty I've ever seen nationwide for a Blue Jackets Penguins game.
Yeah, like even because
there wasn't as much yellow as I'm used to, which I enjoyed. I like that there was less yellow, but it was a little bit of an eye raiser just to maybe how things are going in Pittsburgh and how people are feeling about it.
We had a good chunk of Penguins fans around us, but like they were all chill. They were all good people still.
Yeah,
because it's funny when you get rival fans like that, and obviously they did their showboaty thing when they did score.
Yeah,
but when rival fans can still be good people to you,
yes,
that's a nice feeling.
Mm-hmm.
When you could put the fandom aside for a second, when you're just like chit chatting, and you can kind of get into like if you're fans like us and more things than surface level things, and you can actually get into a conversation with a rival fan.
Yeah,
like that's always kind of fun.
I have a fair amount of Penguins fans that I'm friends with.
Oh yeah. And then the other black and gold game, because we've been rambling on about our experience.
We'll just ignore the Montreal game.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the first period against the Bruins was unbelievable. They stormed off to a 3-0 lead.
That was crazy.
I think in previous Blue Jackets coaching regimes, you would expect for them to blow that lead, and they just never let Boston really get a sniff. Boston were able to make it 3-1, and then what happened? The next goal, Blue Jackets. Next goal, Blue Jackets. They win 5-1.
And then the shell happens and you're good.
Yeah. So, JVR back in Boston getting a goal was nice. Olivier going to the net. Loved his goal. Loved how he scored it. A lot of greasy, kind of goals for the Blue Jackets, but I liked it. 2 shorthand goals in that game.
That's the way you got to play against a team like Boston, even with the issues that they have right now.
Yeah, and I don't really know if there's much more to say than that. Elvis was even better in this game than he was in the Pittsburgh game. Voronkov, Olivier, JVR, Danforth, Chinikov scoring the goals, and the Bruins fire Jim Montgomery.
Jack Stoka, I think is his name.
Who?
Something like that. The interim coach.
Oh, Joe Sacco.
Joe Sacco.
He was the head coach of.
Why does that just sound like chirping poor Joe Flacco?
Or poor man's Joe Sakic. Yeah, it's when you have a bad O line and you take him down. Yeah, more like Joe Sacco.
More like Joe Sacco. God dang. That's really so good luck to him, I guess. But like it's weird because they're sitting the just fine, fourth in the Atlantic
Yeah,
and
it
in a wild card spot.
just feels like a crazy overreaction, doesn't it?
Not when you consider who did the overreaction.
Right.
So let's dive into this a little bit. The Bruins construction right now. They have not had a bona fide number one center since Bergeron retired because they tried Charlie Coyle and that didn't work. And they tried Pavel Zacha and that didn't work.
Pavel Zacha's not a 1C. They go out, they get Elias Lindholm, and Elias Lindholm's not a 1C.
He started fine,
He's not a 1C.
but he's not.
And the defense is thinner than I thought it was.
Well, Charlie doesn't really play too much defense. He's
What's up?
fine. Charlie McAvoy?
Dude, he's great defensively.
Fair enough. Maybe I'm just not watching my share of Bruins games.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. He's
Carlo was awful.
Yeah.
Carlo was like the sole goat horns on the first Blue Jackets goal. You know?
-2. Mason Lohrei was a -4.
Oof. I like Matt Patra, but like he's a decent like third line option.
He's in the minors.
And he's in the minors right now.
It's like,
why are Matt Patra and Fabian Lysell in the minors right now?
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
Like,
and then Sway, obviously, like goalies, you're gonna have an off night, but Sway had a bad night.
he's 5-7 with an .884 save percentage.
Ugh. That's your 8.6?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it makes?
Linus Solmark is 4-4 with an .890.
Wow.
So I think
so
that
not like I'm not doing much better,
either,
but like
I'm not judging either of these goalies. I just think it's an adjustment period for both of them because Linus Solmark, yeah, he's good, but he was in Buffalo. He was never truly the number one who was taking up all the starts. Right. And that wasn't the case in Boston because of Swayman. And it wasn't the case for Swayman in Boston because of Ullmark. So Ullmark, yeah, he's experienced. Swayman now, he's experienced. But this is these two guys' first true opportunity to be the legitimate number one guy who is to start 50-plus games in a season, barring injury. And that's an adjustment. And I think it's an adjustment that both of these guys, it might take them some time. And who knows, maybe that adjustment doesn't happen until next season, or maybe it happens this season, but it happens a little too late. You never know.
Right.
I think it'll happen. I believe in both these guys. I think they're both really good goalies. But there's no doubt about it that it's going to be difficult on a goalie. And especially since Swayman, because he was holding out for as long as he did.
It just, that looks like bad PR. That's like terrible PR after everything that he did with the holdout. And then you end up just playing this poorly.
I don't think any Bruins fans are probably looking at Swayman upset about it. I think today most Bruins fans, what they're upset about, and this is what I talked about. I talked to my friend Cam. I talked to Kaylee, and basically the general consensus is it's just most of this is about not Jim Montgomery, but more so like Jim Montgomery. Yeah, there's issues. I think he's a good coach, but there's issues. But more than anything, he's just a symptom of the problem.
He wasn't the No, the big thing that I think about is, for one thing, all three Jack Adams from 2023, all three Jack Adams finalists are now fired from those respective teams.
They should have never fired Bruce Cassidy.
They should have.
Not to say that they were wrong.
Well, now Jim's gonna go win somewhere else. Like he's gonna go.
Jim Montgomery was a good hire, but they never should have fired Bruce Cassidy. And I think Lindy Ruff, when you look at Lindy Ruff,
It's Lindy Ruff, and then it's Dave
Lindy
Haxtell.
Ruff, it was kind of a season that they pulled out of their ass, mainly because Adrian Brunette was your assistant, and he did a lot of good work with that team. So that one doesn't surprise me so much, but it's
and then
great.
Dave is Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So the problem for me lies in, when are Don and Cam going to be accountable for this?
never. And this is why legacy hires are so impossible for organizations, because you're stuck in a situation where Cam Neely and Don Sweeney are almost never held accountable for anything. And
how long did it take?
I think fans are sick of it, and because it's Cam Neely, it's difficult. It's a difficult relationship because he is a legend.
Bruins fans already have a bad taste in their mouth for Cam based off of the open comment that he made during the Swayman negotiations. Right? Do you remember this? The 64 million reasons?
For a team that is as good as the Bruins have been for the last decade plus, they're kind of run poorly.
And then the other thing that makes me think of the dysfunction and how sick Bruins fans are of Neely and Sweeney is the Miller thing.
Yeah.
When you made that Miller signing, that took what, a weekend?
Oh my God. It just,
for people to bully you out of that.
In the midst of what ended up being such an insane, unbelievable season, it just sucked the life out of them.
Yeah.
And it's like you have your captain, Patrice Bergeron, going on with Elliot Friedman like a day or two later and being like, yeah, like he's gonna have to do a lot. And like you can clearly tell that none of them like it.
And you have Foligno and Marchand coming out and saying, like, we don't want this here.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know that happened, what, 2 seasons ago?
That would have been about 2 years ago at this point.
It's one of those things you just can't help but lose faith and trust in your front office when that happens.
But knowing Jeremy Jacobs and how he is like partial demigod within the 5 owners that actually run things.
What changes? And what needs to change? They sell tickets like crazy.
I mean, how do you get that to change when your owner is that stubborn?
It's the New York Yankees of the NHL right now. Original franchise, iconic logo, owner who's got an insane amount of power, but they're good every year, but they're held back by the same management over and over again that just they do the same recycled shit over and over, and it doesn't work, and it takes the shit out of fans, but it doesn't change because these guys are legacy and they sell a lot of tickets, and that's that. They're not a legit threat to win. They'll do great in the regular season, but until there's a change at the top, I think Bruins fans would actually agree that they're not a legit contender to win a Stanley Cup anytime soon.
Look at how badly the Panthers manhandled them in the last playoff.
Yeah.
They took them to task.
It's impossible in the National Hockey League because of the salary cap to win with feckless ownership and feckless front office.
And this is why.
Look at who's won. Florida, Bill Zito, Vegas. Look at how they run their shit. Criticize them all you want. Look at how they run things. That is not a feckless organization.
No. we've got our own clean slate with Dawn now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's that.
obviously that's gonna build, but
Mhm.
we've needed that for a while, and now that we have it,
Colorado.
Colorado, Joe Sakic.
No, not feckless. Tampa Bay. Nope. We'll spend the money.
Well, that's also like part of that is the ownership in specifically Tampa, because look at what Jeff Vinnick did.
Yeah. Owner wins a couple cups, runs the ship beautifully, and pays everybody, and then says, "All right, time for me to dip."
And he what?
Tampa Bay 9-6-1 this season. They
uh,
lose Stamkos. They trade Sergachev. They find creative ways to stay good
JJ
because
Moser, Jake Gensel.
yes, yes. Is that feckless? No. They go out and they spend their money, but they spend it wisely. They get Jake Gensel. That's a smarter investment than just spending your money on Stamkos. I know
JJ Moser was such a good pickup.
AJ Moser. That was such a fantastic trade because they got what's his name out of it? Geeky.
They did
Right?
get Geeky out of that too, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's going to make a difference too.
Um, so that's the thing is like Boston is just top down a problem, and that's really starting to drastically affect what's going on the ice now.
You know, they've played 20 games, so they've got games at hand, but they're still in the second wild card spot. It just feels like such an overreaction to me. Such an overreaction.
So then who's out there? I know Woodcroft's out there.
Well,
That's
I think they're just going to stick with Sacco.
Well, I would think they'll stick with Sacco, but just like no, who do you get after this?
Well, I mean, if he's a good coach, then you stick with him. But Woodcroft's out there. I would imagine that Mike Sullivan will be there.
Sully is probably yeah. Um, I did
He'll-
see something like where they would play musical chairs with Montgomery, Sullivan, and Cronin
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah. Um, I think this would be a massive mistake. I hope they don't make the mistake. I'm interested to see what happens with Jared Bednar.
Bednar,
think that they should fire him.
no, I think they should keep Bedsy.
But you never know. You never know if a team says, "Oh, it's time."
Luke Richardson could be in the hot seat with how much Bedard's not producing.
He should be fired.
Uh, but
6-11.
like there's options, I guess.
Yeah.
But like with a respected organization like Boston, you want the best of the best, you know. One more thing about this game that I wanted to touch on, and it goes back to Maddie for a minute. This is from Portsea. 7 Columbus wins. Matthew Olivier has 3 game-winning goals, 2 in his first 173 NHL games. He's currently, or at least as of last night, tied for 3rd in the NHL in terms of game-winning goals, with guys like Crosby, Ovechkin, Kopitar, McKinnon, Rantanen, Nylander, and Kyle Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Olivier.
Yeah.
Put that on the book. I also just saw Dylan Tyre's 5 big boobs shit post that said read it and weep Jimmy Fallon. But yeah, both of these games against the black and gold teams were super, super fun, and we needed them really bad.
Badly.
Next game coming up is Thursday against Tampa, which is Hockey Fights Cancer Night.
Yes.
And then they get a game off and play against Carolina. Oh boy, on that Saturday. So there's 4 games left.
Yes.
Tampa, Carolina, Montreal, Calgary. They're all at home.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
as they're 5-3 at home.
we'll end this really quick with a very fast parody discussion and Alex, because Alexander Ovechkin got hurt in the game against Utah.
Yes, and he's only 27 goals away from the record.
27 away, guys.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, but like, wow.
Hopefully he's not out too long. We'll see if it happens this season because he's missing time. So that's
Is he gonna keep this pace up? I hope so, because like, dude, he scored 13 goals in 17 games so far this year. His 13th goal last year didn't come until February.
Yeah. So
He's doing this at 39.
yeah.
The other two guys just behind him are 10 years younger. He scored over 400 goals before they were even drafted.
He's leading the league in goals.
What the hell?
Oh man.
I love this guy. Who doesn't love this guy?
He is
Other than maybe Penguins fans.
He's 132 goals away from 1,000.
From 1,000?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to, I doubt he's going to do that. But
I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm not going to say that he can't. That's all I'm saying.
If he wanted to play long enough, I can see him capping at 900.
Well, capping at 900 would give him the record, but just barely. I mean, he's going to reach 900.
That's fair.
Because he's only 32 goals away from 900.
Oh my God.
900 is like 900, in my opinion, is out of the question. That's already happened.
That's crazy.
Once you get to 900, why not try to get to 1,000? Just saying.
I guess so. And then the other thing, obviously, is the discussion around this time of year around parity, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to make the Thanksgiving rule a lot harder to follow.
Because obviously we just beat the brakes off of the Boston Bruins.
Their last 3 games, they won by 4 against Pittsburgh, lost by 4 to Montreal, won by 4 against Boston.
We know that anybody can beat any team on any given night. That's just how the sport works.
Yeah.
But when you look at where we are with Florida, Toronto, Tampa at the top of the Atlantic, you have Washington running away weirdly on a tear, and then just on their tail are Carolina and New Jersey.
Ottawa just beat Toronto 3-0.
Ottawa just beat Toronto. They're at a 500 record. You know, Philly is below a 500 record, but somehow has a point up on the Senators. You know,
Sharks beat the Devils 1-0.
Sharks beat the Devils. At the end of the day, though, I still think like this American Thanksgiving is like the cutoff point to where you're like, okay, so these are basically the teams that are 95% going to make it.
Yes.
Right? Calgary and Colorado hold the wild card spots in the West. Vegas, LA, and Vancouver lead the Pacific. And then you have Winnipeg just running away with everybody because they've only lost 3 games all year. And then Minnesota and Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to make the wild card fights fun. But I also think some of those top spots are really fun because of the, like, how close the points are.
Yeah.
So I think we're still at a point where this is the most parity we've seen before American Thanksgiving.
In probably a while, yeah, I'd say. Usually it feels like there's a bit of a gap at this point. I remember the 2021-22 season, like around like Thanksgiving. It was like almost like you might as well have just
we were already decided, like before Halloween.
It was just like the rest of the season was just determining seeding and draft position.
Yeah,
like,
it was weird because we had everything.
How bad it was.
We had sewn up everything before Halloween, and it was like, what?
Yeah. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing because this is a league that's driven by parity. So to see it in its purest form is exciting, and maybe that's the reason that the Bruins decided to move off of Jim Montgomery at this point, because the league has so much parity that they wanted to make the move early, maybe too early rather than too late.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't have done it.
I don't know, man. I I think they made a boneheaded mistake, which those two are prone to do.
Yeah, I hope Monty gets a good job.
Yeah.
We'll see if a good job becomes available. Not too many good jobs in the National Hockey League that are available these days.
I'd like to see what he could do with like Carlson and Zegras.
Didn't they just get a new coach?
I mean, Cronin's been there. I don't know, because I don't know if Cronin is like fresh, like Huska is, I guess, because I think Huska's only in his second season in Calgary, right?
Yeah, I believe
I
so.
think I think they might be in the same boat, but at the same time, like if things are dire,
This is
then this is a second. Still, like if you don't have guys that are going the way you want them to go,
again. I wouldn't, but to that point, I wouldn't consider the Ducks a good job. You know what I mean?
fair.
Because when you have a coach like Montgomery, you want to see them go to a team that can win, like when Cassidy went to Vegas.
Fair
Stuff like
enough, because I know like others like Marty St. Louis has been talked about getting axed. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I feel like a lot of the better jobs where you could build with it are already more secure. Guys like Dean, who just got here.
There are a lot of like jobs that are secure. Like if you look just at the Metro, Washington, yeah, that's secure.
Carberry's fine.
He's fine. Carolina, Brind'Amour just signed a new
I
deal.
mean, Brind'Amour is Brind'Amour. Come on.
Sheldon Keefe just got to New Jersey.
Yep.
The Rangers are 11-4-1.
So Lavi's still working
The
just
reason
fine there.
they're the first wild card is because they played the least amount of games at the end.
Exactly. They have such a good points percentage, and yet they're in a wild card spot.
So Laviolette is fine. Uh, Torts, I think, should be fine.
Torts should be fine for what it's worth.
Waugh literally just got there to
Yep.
the only job that I think is going to come available in this division is the Penguins, and I'm not sure I'd consider that a great job. It's an interesting roster and a roster that's about to rebuild.
Yeah,
And
because we know Kyle already came out and said it.
Yeah. So it's not like there's any like great jobs coming available. Florida, that nothing's happening there.
Dude, Paul Maurice just got extended. Nothing's happening.
John Cooper's not going anywhere.
Berube just got to Toronto.
Got there. Ottawa, I don't consider a great job. Plus, Travis Green just got there.
Exactly. Buffalo just brought Lindy back.
Just got there. Detroit, I don't consider a good job. Montreal, I don't consider a good job. So it's like,
and then into the West, like Arneal just got there.
Might have an opening would be Colorado, but I don't see it.
Arneal just got there in Winnipeg. Pete DeBoer is doing fine in Dallas.
Yeah.
And then
Baldy in Minnesota. Heinze.
Oh, Heinze.
So
what's Bannister in St. Louis? Like he just started.
Yeah.
Right? So
like the move for some of these guys might be to legitimately like just sit back and wait.
Yeah.
Just wait for the job to open.
Just wait. I don't know. I'm sorry I kept you because I know you got to pack.
That's all right. Yeah, I got some things to do, but this was still fun.
Dude, I'm just happy I got to see you in person again, man. That was like, I don't know. It was something magical about that night,
Yeah, that's how most people feel when they meet me.
You and that. You can't go 1 second just being earnest, can you?
I just want like an hour being earnest. So I've earned this.
You've earned the ego. I love you, man. I really do. We'll see y'all soon. We've got some changes coming. And don't forget, game time, DraftKings, Raycons, do all the things. And we'll see you guys later.
Jake Jackets, a podcast for fifth liners and all puckheads around. Follow the guys on Twitter at Snake Gehringer, GARRINGER, and at by J Ashdown. And subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen. March on.